As if
Reese
they're
said
all
they're not holding their
blown
charges
away.
long.
We're
I
live.
guess they kind of
Okay.
get to a point where they fizzle.
Hi, good evening. It is Wednesday.
Technical difficulties.
Hi, good evening.
It's working.
It is Wednesday.
Yeah, it's on speaker.
Yeah.
Hold on, please.
Hi, good evening. It is Wednesday.
Stand by.
No, it's not. Okay, I think we're good now.
Thank you for that pause. We wanted to make sure we were recording live. Thank you very much, Damon. We'll start again. Good evening. It is Wednesday, May 13th of 2026. It's 6:02. And this is the special meeting for the Facilities Committee, and it is a subcommittee of the Board of Education. Tonight, we have our agenda in place, and we'll start with the call to order. If Mrs. Reese will take care of that for us, please.
Yep, Rick Gilbert, Natalie Donahue,
Present.
Damon Smith,
Yep.
Caleb Runkle, Julie Reese, present, Todd Bird,
Present.
Lorna Furterer, Jason Pickett, Mindy Campbell,
Present.
Bren Cox, Amy Novelino, here, Andy Veith.
Here.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wait, we're missing.
Mindy Gator was put on.
I
Yeah,
know,
I was on
sorry.
the last
Gator
one.
and Dania Conley both.
And, yeah, Dania. Mindy Gatrell
Present.
and Dania, is that how you say
Mhm.
that?
Yes.
Connolly, right?
Thank you for
Didn't carry those
capturing that.
over.
And I do know that Jason plans to be here. He said he'd be in and out fairly quickly, but Lorna said she would try to make it as well. And I know Bren said she could not attend tonight. So thank you for those that are here tonight. First, we'll look at the agenda. Hopefully, everybody got a copy of that. And we know, because the essence of time for everybody, this was going to be, try to keep it to a reasonable amount tonight. Hopefully no longer than an hour, but we definitely would like to make sure we get everything covered so we can get current and up to speed with where we are. First of all, does anybody have anything that they would like to add to the agenda in specific to the items or our next meetings or anything that's listed?
Yep.
Hearing none, we'll go on and press then for communications, meeting, any announcements. Our minutes are, hopefully everybody has a copy of that. I don't know if everybody had a quick chance to run through those. And if I got through the first page, so I didn't necessarily see anything on that page, but if anybody wants to take a quick minute to look through those, we can do that. If anybody sees anything other than a good catch on the agenda of the two other people that were appointed, so thank you for that.
They're in the minutes, though.
I'm sorry.
They're in the minutes. I just, I didn't carry it to the agenda
Oh, yeah,
for
sorry.
some reason. I don't know why.
Oh. That's okay. That's okay.
What happened?
We'll go ahead and work to approve these, and then if anybody sees anything after you have maybe a better chance, please let Julie know. You can send her an email or the whole group, and be sure to make sure that Julie gets that updated and then she can get those posted.
I did want to, I guess, maybe not really announce, just more of a question. So I talked to Jenny, our treasurer, just a little bit ago. And I asked her about the minutes and where they're located and all that kind of stuff. And she said she's never received any of the minutes to post. Is there,
Yeah, I sent them
did you send
to,
them to her directly?
I have not sent any to her. I
Okay.
sent them to Bob previously.
Okay.
So I will send them to her. I
Yeah.
thought we were gonna wait till there was a web page or something to put them on.
It'll go on our district webpage.
Okay.
Generally, probably.
I can go ahead and send them all then. And
Yeah,
I'll
go ahead
send,
send
and
them
I'm
all
also
to-
gonna send her all the ones I sent to Bob
The
because she
previous
said,
ones, yeah.
she
yeah,
said she
said
doesn't
was-
know if
Yeah, she's like,
She wasn't-
those got stored
She said she's
somewhere.
looked for them and she didn't see anything. and
Yeah.
So if you could get those.
I can
to her,
resend
that'd
those.
be- And then
I
that way
have,
we've got
I'm
them on
back to
hand,
August, so.
and we can start once,
Yep.
you know, the pages come up for construction and we can start adding stuff to that.
Right, okay. Yep, no problem.
Thank you.
That's good. Yeah, thank you. And then next on our agenda were some of the items for discussion. And I was going to switch it if Jason was here, but since he's not, we'll just go through. And the item A is updates from the Bethel School Administrative Team. I know there was an update in our weekly board email that Mr. Nutter sends to the board on Fridays. A couple weeks ago that he indicated that Jamin, sorry to put you on the spot, but that you and Eric had been working some of the building projects. And I just wondered if you had an update on that. And maybe Todd could be included in that too, because my belief is, putting it that way, was that one of two things, either the OFCC update that I know we got the information to Jenny, and Jenny was able to get that off to OFCC. And then the second thing was for renovations and the plan and maybe getting started on some of that work. So I was going to ask you, was that what he meant by those updates?
No, so from a construction standpoint, we haven't really, I mean, we still have to get an owner's rep and go through the architecture project process and all that kind of stuff. We've had some discussions about that and getting that process started soon. As far as talking about what renovations, from an educational planning standpoint, FMD has been involved. We've really been working, Todd and I specifically have really sat down and looked at the field house being one of the most important things that is going on right now. Todd brought drawings tonight. If anybody wants to take a look at them again, he and I sat that one day and probably talked for a good 3 hours or so about everything. I shared some of the original drawings for the field house that was going to be built 3 years ago along with the elementary that didn't happen. We still have those. I've shared those with FMD. They're obviously an educational planner, but they're also an architect. And because we have them on retainer, or whatever you want to call it, we've paid for their services. They're helping us kind of reevaluate what that building is going to look like, how it can serve us now and in the future.
Oh, okay.
On the south end. And they're going to provide a couple of different options of, maybe some suggestions of what we do based upon what we've told them. But
Is
I also.
Jason working with you on that too? Because he was,
Pick it, yeah.
yeah,
So he's got.
because he was, that was
Yes.
what he volunteered to do last time,
Absolutely.
was mark up those
Yeah.
drawings.
Yeah, and that's
bring
Todd
them
and I had
back.
that
I've
conversation.
sent the
about getting-
drawing,
yeah.
I've sent the drawings to him, and then I've also reached back out to people that we had originally were gonna do all the work. The guy that was gonna do the footers, the package, Bigwood Lumber was gonna provide the package. Hey, it's been 3 years, can you update the pricing on that? And
Yeah.
the
We have
quote,
the same pricing.
yeah,
Concrete
well,
might be
I
different
don't,
now.
yeah,
Yes.
although in having said that, part of the footer package, we actually, because Boosters at that time was working on that, right, to get the field house going. So we actually had the guy to do the footer work, and the rebar was sent out, like we were within no time of getting started,
Oh,
when
within weeks
we
of
didn't have
getting
enough
started.
money to run the electric to power the lights, so
Oh,
it got put on hold. So all the rebar is there actually for the footer work. So that got paid for, and we passed that on to FMD as well to let them know some of the stuff's there. So in quoting the footers again, hey, materials, some of the materials, not concrete, obviously, but some of the stuff
Yeah.
still here. So they're supposed to be, and I haven't received it yet, but both at least those two companies are supposed to,
Mhm.
hey, give us a price again on what's it looking like if we did this, not saying that that's exactly what we would do. Again, we would
Right.
make changes, but we're just curious where, where's that,
Yeah.
so waiting for pricing for.
And I think based on our current LFI list, our unofficial LFI list of, priority, I think everybody knows that the field house is probably at the top from an LFI
Yeah.
standpoint. We've got to get that done. There's some other things that are on there and just kind of trying to analyze what makes sense based upon what we're going to do over the course of the next 2 to 3 years with construction, when it happens, where it goes. So again, working with FM, just that overall master plan of what does it look like if we put a baseball field by the softball field? What's it look like to put it out by the stadium? Like just trying to get some of those ideas, field house, other LFIs that are gonna, do we phase them in, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3? What happens before the high school? What happens after? So we're kind of having those discussions. Not making any decisions by any means, but just having an idea. And with that, what's the cost of all of this as well? Because that's at the end of the day, here's what we want. Tell us what it costs. Now, how do we adjust if we need to? So I would expect within the next week or two that we should have some options for a field house based upon, hey, this is what we got 3 years ago. Let's look at this again, exactly how it is. And then let's make some changes for option 2 and some additional changes, option 3, just to give us a variance of, do we do brick instead of aluminum siding? Do we shrink the number of showers in the locker room to allow more space for athletic training facilities or storage, whatever it may be? So they're kind of playing with that and to see what they could do. Do we do a 2-pitch roof or a single pitch roof? Like how does all of that play into the cost, overall cost, and what's it going to do for us now? Because we need it to serve us for at least the first couple of years as a full stadium until the high school and potentially an athletic center is complete with additional restrooms and locker rooms and all that kind of stuff, to where that, the facility we're talking about building now becomes the additional facility. It's a visitor's restroom and all that kind of stuff, just so we have more options than not enough options, because I feel like we always have not enough options. So that's kind of where we are. I'd asked about the other big one is getting baseball off of Palmer and bringing it over on campus. What does it even look like? Where could it fit? Those kinds of conversations are even happening just to kind of pick their brain. So that's a lot of the work that we've been doing so far. Again, a big part of it was really looking at the field house and saying, do we need 6 showers in the home locker room when kids don't shower after practice like they did 20 years ago? And can we repurpose that space and make bigger storage and all, just those kinds of conversations.
Yeah.
So that's where we've been from a construction standpoint. We haven't been talking about the high school itself in depth at all. No conversations I've been a part of, at least. So.
And that's one thing I was going to follow up and ask is, FMD, I don't know how many architects they have on hand, in their company that can support all of our requests.
Right.
So I wondered, are we losing, well, there's 2 things. Are we losing any ground on moving forward with the new high school by having them, if they're fully focused on the field house?
Well, FMD is not our architect.
Well, that's true,
Yeah,
but
we have not done architect selection
yeah,
yet.
that's
just,
true.
As of right now, they're just master planning. However, because we have them as an educational planner for master, and they do have architects, they're willing to at least help us, whether they become our architect or not. They're willing to help us right now, get us going so that we can get the ball rolling on something.
Yeah.
So they've offered to do that. Tim specifically, I've been working with him with that, and we've shared some ideas. He's asked several questions, and just, yeah, go ahead. It doesn't hurt to see numbers on, split face block as opposed to an aluminum pole barn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So they've been willing to help figure out costs and Excuse me, I'm getting choked up. It's so emotional.
No,
right now.
Sorry. Can you talk too
Yeah.
much? Sorry.
Stay away from my mouth.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just helping us identify like, we know we have to do this, so what are the costs at the end of the day?
Yeah.
What's this gonna cost us? And that way, it gives the Board of Education a lot of it, from
Yeah.
a decision-making standpoint, you guys doing that. And I think we should spend at least a little bit of time looking at and explaining what the facility looks like now and here,
Yeah.
so that we are all kind of on the same page, from a recommendation standpoint. And I'll bring those options when FMD says, hey, here's 2 or 3 options that you could potentially do. We'll bring those in June, if I'm assuming we're meeting in June, and we can talk about those here, and basically out of that say, hey, here's 2 great options. Send it from a facility committee to Board of Education. Here's our recommendation of what we think it could potentially look like. If we want to make any adjustments, any of that kind of stuff, we can talk as a group and share that information with Tim and FMD, and they'll make any changes and work with us on that.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. The reason, so that kind of leads to my other question, which is in any of that work that's going on now, is there the really, really short term, like to get us something by August in place?
There's nothing that's from a field house standpoint.
Yeah, from the
that's
field
not gonna
house.
This will be, we need to start now so that it happens by this time next year. That end of track season is over. We're going and we're gonna have it finished. There's no way we get this done by August 1. That would require a lot. I mean, board approval and all that kind of stuff. There's no way we'd be able to start moving dirt. We could probably make the decision and start moving dirt sometime in November after football season, because you don't want to be in construction during a season when we have to use the facility. So get some done in the late fall, early winter, depending on weather severity. I mean, it's usually somewhat okay in November and December. I feel like winter has shifted to February and March around here. But that, and then pause during track season and then come back and finish the rec. I don't know what that looks like, but that'll be, I think that's more of a realistic time.
That would be, And does Jason know that?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I imagine a lot of heartache from his end.
No, that's, for sure. And I think you said it last time, we've been doing it for 3 years. We can do it for 1 more if we know that we're actually moving forward with something. We know that there's an end in sight at this point. So, we'll loop him in even more so than what we already have. I know he was taking the drawings, looking at it himself from his experience and expertise in that regard to potential changes, and we'll wrap him in. I'll probably even invite him in to have a conversation when Tim sends us the options that they're coming up with, wrap him in with that as well. So unless you've heard any more from him.
Well, that is good. Anybody else have any other questions? Sorry, I didn't mean to.
Along those lines, from just administration standpoint, going into next year, we got a lot of stuff going on this summer. A few more room conversions and moving people around, but we officially have enough room for everybody. So I think we're good.
Where are the rooms?
We don't need any more. We don't need any trailers. We don't need anything. We'll be okay.
Where are the room conversions?
There's one in the 5-6 building, the old elementary. That's a big room. We're dividing it into 2 rooms for some pull-out space, intervention stuff. The multi-purpose room down at the other end that used to be the old cafeteria way back in the day. That was an MD room for a while, then turned into a kindergarten room.
Library.
It is a library. Yep. So it is going back to a library / 5th and 6th technology room, classroom. So it'll be kind of a dual space. The old kitchen area is getting turned into an art room for 5th and 6th grade.
That'll be interesting. That's an interesting room, though.
We've,
That's a good room.
our
it is.
NVCTC classes, we're bringing in a junior high class next year. We also have a high school one. Those are getting, there's just some shuffling around in that regard. That's not a big renovation. None of it is big renovation.
No.
We're not doing any, we're throwing up a wall between to turn one classroom into 2, little things like that. Nothing major. Not cheap, but not major. If that makes sense. So,
painting, but yeah, a lot of there's a lot of movement in the 7th and 8th grade, like. the way
Just
they-
teachers switching
Yeah,
classrooms and they're
switching
trying to keep
classroom,
7th and 8th grade a
7th
little
and 8th
separate.
grade, 7th grade will be more C hallway, correct? And everything else main hallway,
Yeah.
and what was the
And
old
then
high
the
school
old-
is gonna be more 8th grade,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Old
Work
senior
your way.
hall.
Localized.
Yep, 5th,
Yeah.
6th, 7th, 8th.
Mhm.
down through
Keep
there,
on
so,
coming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then all your standard building envelope stuff.
Is that because we have less high schoolers?
No,
And we're not,
So how are they able to come this way?
they're not
Taken-
coming
Not in
this
the
way.
addition.
The old
The
senior
old
hall.
high
He's
school.
talking the
Okay,
old senior
I thought they
hall.
were already in
Yeah.
that hall.
Yeah, they are.
Well,
It's just,
it's a
we're
mixture of-
readjusting.
It's a
Okay, it's got
mixture
high
of
school
7th and
Yeah.
8th. They're all
there.
kind of all over the
Okay.
place. 'cause
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
more doing like, okay, 90% of the 7th grade classes are gonna
Okay,
be
got
here.
it.
Yeah, they're trying to compartmentalize it a little.
Gotcha.
more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
makes
less,
sense.
less crossover and
Right,
help them with the
right.
Which
flow
is-
of traffic.
See, I thought it was already
Traffic
like
is-
that.
No.
Yeah.
It's taken some time and some hard conversations and
Yeah. Oh,
planning
yeah.
to figure it out, but
Yeah.
some people are really happy and some people are not very happy at all.
Yeah.
There are very
Some
few
are not
people in the
gonna be.
middle,
All right.
so,
Yeah. Yeah.
but we'll get through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that update. Just to be fair, sounds like everything's a go and have a good plan. Is there any help you need from the facilities committee with that regard?
When it comes to actually the design of the building, I would like your guys's, I mean, we've got several different stakeholders from different levels, teachers, community members. I want your guys's input on this as well. Obviously, Jason's, Dania's, Bryn. It's gonna serve the whole community and the whole district. So that's gonna be the piece once we actually have those options. So maybe next meeting, potentially, instead of, we can still obviously have a traditional meeting, but it'd be more specifically focused on, let's really look at these options and narrow down what it is we want to do, any adjustments that need to be made, and then ship off the option to the board for potential approval if that's the route that we decide to go. So,
And,
go ahead.
thanks.
So I was gonna say, you definitely anticipate having that by our June meeting on the 10th.
I would say so, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And potentially some other options when it comes to baseball, softball, and soccer field, youth soccer field, and what all that may potentially look
Sure.
like. I don't think we're gonna be making decisions on that particularly.
Sure.
But just as future planning, I should have some of that stuff pretty soon. You guys as a board may actually see that before we see it as a facilities committee. I would assume so. By the work session next week, I would hope that there would be something by then.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
It's close. I talked to, he sent me an email either yesterday or today, I can't remember. And said that he was finalizing some things and they have some stuff pretty close to being ready to go.
yeah, and we do have a work session next Tuesday, May 19th, so
Yeah.
perhaps that's the goal,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
to work towards that,
Mhm.
yeah. And I haven't looked, but I haven't noticed that the agenda's out for that yet. I don't know how much it would say, so,
Yeah, he just emailed today, so
Yeah.
about having something ready for the work session. I think.
okay, yeah. And, yeah, and that'll be in this room at 6 PM next
Mhm.
Tuesday, the 19th, but, yeah. Yeah, and thanks, and, I appreciate you, going through all that. That's kind of, I wasn't sure, what to expect if Todd and Jason had got together, what you might share with us today. So it's kind of taken a little different route, but thank you for going through that. So we kind of know where things stand. Appreciate that. That's why I was like, if anybody had any other questions on that.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah, you kind of covered everything.
Yeah,
Because I wondered if, like I said, Jason and Todd might have more to kind of go through and just discuss, and if they'd had a meeting, what were some of the outcomes of that? So thank you for that. And thanks for the Bethel School admin team. Did you, was there any additional information? Well, that's maybe not a question for this particular meeting, but I was just wondering if I think Jenny had all the information she needed to send to OFCC for once our decision was made on how to move forward.
With LFIs or
What-
the 912?
Well, just with the, what'd you say? The second thing?
912, the high school.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry,
Threw me off.
education
I'm like,
speak.
I'm like, I must not have heard that word
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what-
Yeah, I'm assuming that they're, moving forward. They've got all the information they need.
Okay.
The funding
Yeah.
and all that kind of stuff is coming up in July, I think they said, is when they do the final approval for funding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like I said, it's getting an owner's rep in place and then going out for bid for architects and all that kind of stuff. I think
Yeah.
we should have that stuff probably close to done, or if not already in place once the funding happens. Would be ideal so that we don't.
Do we
miss
have to
somebody.
have an owner rep? Is that a new requirement?
I don't, it's not a requirement, but it's a very, very good idea to have, considering the way that the last 2 construction projects have gone.
Didn't we have? one?
We did have one. That's
It
why
was
we
the
didn't.
Superintendent.
No, the time before that, we had one and all, it was
For
just a,
this?
it was a
Oh,
money
yeah.
pit.
for
Yes,
this.
yes.
It depends on who you get. I mean, there's good and bad in every industry, so.
Is that the
Board-
guy from
board-
Green
the
County?
With the
board
cons-
will decide that as well.
Yeah.
As they did in the past.
They just look out for the best interest of the school is what they're supposed to do. and-
That's what
and
they're
it's safe.
supposed to do,
Supposed to do. is
But
keyword,
that's not
right?
what they did. And when they did this school, they were also, they were responsible for getting all the pictures along the way. And we never got those. So they'd have like, so the maintenance would have like, when they were doing walls and,
Mhm, Schematics and
yeah,
things.
they were supposed to be doing all that and we never got any of that from them.
Who was on the school side, who was responsible for holding them accountable for that?
I would assume the superintendent. But he was her guy
Gotcha.
and we
Yeah.
were paying him a
That may have
ton of money.
been- I shouldn't say
I
that,
tried to
but
clean
never
that up.
mind.
I was gonna say that. I sent it through the translator. And he was only working part-time, but he was making like 100 grand a year. I mean, for the hours he was working, it was ridiculous.
And I think because of that experience, when it came to this one, we didn't do an owner's rep, and
Right.
that's when Ferks was here. And they trying to be an owner's rep and do a construction project, then it obviously ended up being Crispin as well, while also trying to be the superintendent it's not good
Not a
for
good
anybody. It's not good for them. It's not good for the district. It's just
Really too much.
pulling
It's just too
way
much
too much.
stress.
And that,
For
you know,
one
to that
person,
point,
to
this,
both,
the
yeah.
structure that we have now, I'm the person that's holding these people accountable. Obviously, superintendent, treasurer, board of education, but day to day, why aren't you here taking pictures? Where are our pictures at? Being that, I'm not gonna be a mean guy. I can't be. I'm only 5'9", about 25, soaking wet, but it's you gotta have somebody holding and asking the questions on a day-to-day basis. And that's my responsibility. So.
And I felt for the new elementary school, I felt like you guys did the lion's share of that for sure.
We were involved quite a bit. It was a learning process for me. It's the first time I've been through a major construction project. Obviously just from that, but I mean, your experience in the.
Yeah, but that's the first time I've been on the other side. Like, I've been the guy that give the prints to, and say, go put the stuff in. I've
Yeah.
never been on the other side of it when they're
So,
learning.
but that
learning
was
side too.
valuable experience, obviously sitting in on those and seeing that side of it going into it now.
Yeah.
Can I be an owner's rep? Probably not there yet. I know my limits of, what I know and what I don't know. And when it comes to actually doing that part of it now, but holding people accountable that are supposed to be doing a job, I can do that.
But
really
you will
well.
be there with him
Oh, yeah.
a lot.
I'll be on site nearly every single day.
Because, so one
Yeah.
thing that I liked about not having one,
Mhm.
in theory,
Right.
is that the superintendent of the school, and,
Mhm.
now that we have you,
Yeah.
would have more of a vested interest
Yeah.
than some guy we're paying to do it for
Absolutely.
us.
Right.
I mean, he's just like, yeah, here's my checklist of things I have to do, but
Mhm.
as far as caring about the school, you know what I mean? And I'm
Absolutely.
not saying they don't care.
Yeah.
I'm just
no.
saying, it seems like you're.
There's a deeper.
Yeah, there's a deeper,
caring, there's a
yes,
de- there's a
yes.
heart behind
Thank
it.
you.
And I'm
Perfect.
not, I'm not a Bethel grad. I didn't go here, but I care about this place. I want to see
Right.
it. I mean, I'm the second longest Todd and I are the second longest tenured administrators in the district, and we've only been here 6 years. If that says anything. I'm not-
Yeah.
People were like, you're staying? What are you talking about? Yeah, I want to be here. And I.
But I
will
mean,
walk-
you have more
we
of a
will walk-
vested interest than
Yeah.
somebody
Oh,
we
yeah.
just
Right,
hired
for
off
sure.
the
Yeah,
street.
exactly, yeah.
So that's why I was
it's
saying,
my
I like,
responsibility
I
to
like
help
not
us
having
out.
one. I know it might be work, but
Yeah.
it does
see what you're
change the
saying.
interest level.
I for sure will be, and I'm sure Todd will be right next to me, walking every single day with these people, whether they're owners, reps, architects, general contractors, whatever. That's
Yeah.
gonna end up being, a large 75 to 80% of my job is gonna be getting this high school built. So,
Yeah, and maybe this will work out better because it's hard to say anything that got done at that time when Mrs. Potter was here,
mhm,
because she had kind of a little bubble around her,
Sure.
So I think that it was, like I said, he was her guy,
Mhm.
and it was hard to get information if you were outside of that bubble,
Yeah.
including for the board.
Right.
Well, part of the board. So,
Got it.
so maybe this will work out better than.
For sure.
Thanks.
Mhm.
Thank you. So unless you guys have any other questions, I think we've covered A and B, if everybody agrees. And then C is to the recommendations of the priorities of the list for the LFI items, allocated funding, yeah. Put that very fancy, thank you.
Well, I sent all that other stuff and then I added LFI to the end because now everybody
Knows
has
what
the
it is.
initials down that didn't
Yeah.
3 months ago.
Right.
I mean, you
Understands what
did,
it
but
means,
yeah,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
but now everybody else has heard it enough. I think that we can
That's very
throw
good.
her
Yeah.
in there.
Thank you. And, we were talking earlier, we've kind of carried in the past, the list, and it is in the,
I took it out. 'cause you
oh,
said
okay,
for
yeah,
the-
I was trying to minimize that amount of paper and carryover, but we've talked about it in the past and just wanted to touch base with everybody. Obviously, we are working on the field house,
Yeah.
architect type activities. So if you guys wanted to, we could generate, like, if you will, a brand new list, but everybody's kind of been talking about it and thinking about it. Do we want to bring forward probably I could in the workshop meeting even, before it gets, too far down, if you will, in a board meeting, a list of LFIs that, we think are good to take forward at the
Yeah.
time,
Well-
yeah.
We had mentioned too about bleachers. We gotta
Yep.
expand our bleachers, if we're gonna be
Thank
doing
you
that,
for bringing that up.
then we need
I
to
already had,
expand our bleachers too,
Yeah.
because that,
we had.
Yeah, that's in the
Farnham-
minutes from last year.
Yeah.
Yeah, Farnham came out on Friday
Yeah.
and walked the facility with us. They're the ones that put in the away side bleachers. We talked about options, and they'll be sending us several different options
Okay.
of how and what it would look like to expand, while also keeping in mind where the new entrance to the stadium is planned for at the north end. Farnham put in the visitor side. They're gonna, do we go out? Do we go up? Do we move what's currently there and bring brand new in? What do we do with the home side? Can we go up? Do we go out? They're gonna look at all of that, bring us some options. We met with them, and then Dan Clayton. We had something scheduled. The guy that was supposed to come out ended up having to cancel that meeting, but I've got to get that rescheduled to get a second. I mean, I want more than just. Yeah.
Sure.
What's their name? Who came out?
Dant, D-A-N-T Clayton. That's the business name.
That's the one we need to reschedule with. Farnham is the one that we met with.
Oh,
Yeah.
Farnham.
Farnham, yeah. Farnham is done. They did our visitors
Farnham.
bleachers, and they also did our elementary gym.
Yeah,
bleachers
they
as
did the
well.
bleachers in the elementary, yeah, the new building.
And they do all of our inspections, all of our bleacher inspections and stuff
I
like that.
have for the state, yeah.
Yeah, so we have-
They do that during the summer.
So yes, thank you for bringing that up. That's
Yeah,
expanded bleachers along with,
Mhm.
yeah.
because we already have the scoreboard and everything, and
Mhm.
that's, nice and up to date. Is there anything else that, like, because that pretty much would help us prepare for when we get larger, for that coming next year following, whatever, because we know that's coming, that's something that has to get done, but yet wouldn't be in the way of progress of everything else.
Mhm.
What else? Because there was a couple other things that were listed for LFI, because
I mean, we had the auditorium, whether it's
Yeah.
detached as a performing arts center, or if it's just an expanded auditorium above and beyond what OFCC can provide. You've got, when it comes to different facilities, you know, one of the big things that we struggle with, it's really kind of a major safety issue right now, is our transportation, where all of our buses are parked in the traffic, and just, so what does that look like in the future? Does the middle school stadium stay, or do we get rid of the old stadium and expand parking for busing and all that kind of stuff? Or do we move transportation off site? If we move it off site, we've got the Palmer property. But if we put it on the Palmer property, now you've got your varsity baseball
Baseball
field and Besa youth soccer involved. So now we have to find new space for them, because we don't want to just kick them to the curb like some communities have done to their youth programs.
Do you know why
this-
we?
Go ahead, sorry.
You wanna go?
Well, I was
ahead.
just gonna say, this space over here is not large enough to house soccer fields for youth. Because we'd need more fields, wouldn't we? You know,
Are
I'm
you
talking about
back
the old
behind, like,
practice area
yeah,
right
where they
here.
practice? Yeah.
That's not enough field space. That's a
Uh,
couple,
You could get a couple back
Couple,
there, but. Yeah.
but we need to look at the other side and put in a field and some.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
potentially.
use some of these.
And the nice thing
this
with
area,
soccer
but-
fields, the nice thing with soccer fields are it's flat ground, grass and paint. That's it.
Mhm.
So, you know, depending on where the high school goes along Ag and Broad, you could potentially have the soccer fields
Right.
that double as not only Besa, but high school practice fields and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. To the west, a little further down Ag and Broad, that whole space. And then if we need to build in the future an additional facility, whatever it may be, we're not tearing down a stadium, a baseball field.
Right.
Probably don't even need to move
Mhm.
ground, because it's already there. You just build it on top of the soccer field, and then we find, but that's.
Yeah.
down the
Right,
road,
right,
so
right. Yeah.
That's,
but-
I think soccer fields, just finding grass space, open space is a lot easier than
Yeah,
trying
you
to
need
place a
it
baseball,
flat.
softball field, and yeah, for sure. So, but to that point, if we, you know, I think a bus garage transportation facility of some kind would be on a wish list somewhere.
Mhm.
Just, yeah.
You made me think of
Can I ask,
something.
can I ask my
Oh,
question?
Yeah.
You're
you're
gonna
right.
remember it?
Yep.
Because I'm gonna forget pretty soon.
There's
Because
no guarantee.
that's what I'm like, while you guys are talking, I'm like, don't forget this question. So
Don't
my
forget.
question is, in the old days,
Uh-huh.
because that's what I am. The buses went home with the drivers. Is there some reason we don't allow that anymore?
That's a great, I'm sure Jacob would know.
I think it's insurance purposes a
I-
lot.
Well, there are districts that still do. I mean, I know.
Yeah,
they do.
Miami-
There's a lot of
Miami used to
districts.
see 'em all
Miami East
parked up
does,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you know what, also that,
Half of our drivers don't even live in the area, though. They live in Kettering or Dayton or.
well, for those
Yeah.
drivers, then you might have to leave them here,
Right.
but for the local drivers, like I know my bus driver in school lived literally around the corner from me.
Yeah.
So she would get in that bus and drive it and then pick us up at the end, but she didn't have to come up to the school and get the bus and drive it all that distance and then drive it back every day, because that's a lot of wear and tear on the buses too,
Sure.
just for nothing to drive back and forth.
Not knowing a ton, I just from an operations logistics standpoint, I could see some issues with buses not being properly plugged in, and you know, in the wintertime specifically, and not being able to start, and then having to have the mechanic go out and get the bus started. And I just from a, not saying that that doesn't ever happen, and obviously other districts probably deal with that and they've got a solution. But how many bus drivers do they have? Do they have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, or do they have 25 like we do?
Wow.
So
And
from
then-
just purely from a logistics standpoint, it's doable. I don't think there's any laws.
I'm just
against it.
curious.
Yeah, something to analyze.
Something to add to that, though, what did Jacob talk about today? What's he doing as far as fuel? We're not using
Yeah,
Big Mike's. There's a company coming out and
To
actually
fuel
fueling the
on site.
buses on site.
in the
So
evenings.
I can't, he probably wouldn't be, you know, if they continued to do that.
Run over
"Hey,
there."
yeah,
Yeah,
down the
well,
road
that's-
here," and so
Why are they doing that?
I'm guessing they're probably getting a
Cost
better
savings,
cost. I bet they're
Yeah.
saving money.
They're not putting a tank here, are they?
No. No miss environmental.
Yeah.
Thanks for looking out.
Yeah, let's not do that
We're not
again.
doing that
That's my
anymore.
old job before I was a science
Yeah.
teacher. I
yeah.
was an environmental scientist that worked in a
But-
lab, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Not
he
everyone
just-
knows
Yeah,
that.
that's fair, yeah.
He just talked about that today. They've got a company
You're
that comes
too
out.
young.
That's a
for
good,
that.
I mean, that is a good question, though. I don't know the rules or legalities
either.
of, I'm sure that there's insurance stuff. I'm sure that there's logistics that you could argue probably one way or another.
Security,
It just
yeah,
depends
I was
on.
thinking.
Security is a big thing too these days.
I don't know.
Well, you'd think they'd be safer at home with the bus driver then, because we know they've gotten broken into out
Oh,
here
yeah,
and,
We've had,
and when they come out here, they don't get
Well,
one, they get them all,
it's-
right? So,
oh, yeah, they come in.
I mean, as he said, you can argue it both ways. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
I just
Wait, is-
wondered, I was
are
just
they diesel?
curious.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, gosh. Diesel's so high.
But that could maybe be part of the solution if, well, I
Yeah.
don't know about if they're coming on site to fuel though, that would
Yeah.
be,
Well, and then.
I mean,
you know,
everything would be a consideration. I
It'd
was
be
just
great to
wondering.
have a transportation facility off-site, particularly over on Palmer, maybe.
I think that'd be riskier security wise.
Well,
Well,
now you
unless
got
you'd have to-
unless
nobody
they
out
did
there.
a
They'll
fencing
they'll fence
system.
it all in and everything. It'd be
Oh,
more
yeah, we'll
secure.
razor wire the top of it. everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It'll look
It,
like
it'd have,
a
probably have the
penitentiary.
wire,
because
you
that's
know,
how
going
like
out.
in West
far up
Carrollton,
top.
how theirs
Yeah.
are,
Mhm.
like in a very enclosed space and add like a couple layers of fencing around it.
But,
Oh, that would
but
be
to
lovely
your
on that corner.
point,
Yeah.
what's our solution? If it's a huge problem and we can't do a transportation facility for 5, 6, 7 years from now, what do we do in the short term? That might be to reduce the number of buses on site.
Right.
Might be an option. I'd have to run that by Jacob to see his thoughts on it and, you know, reasons why it would be good, reasons why it wouldn't.
It's a good point, though. I totally forgot that.
Yeah, I mean, I
Yeah,
was
we
just
used to do
curious.
it.
I think about that
Yeah.
every time I drive by and see them all lined up. Like, why are they going home? I mean,
Depends.
I get the drivers
Well,
that aren't here.
some of the
though.
drivers that live over there have to drive all the way over
Yeah.
here
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah. Well, do they have space to park them?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of them.
But yeah, they're all going to the subdivisions to pick up. all the
Yeah.
kids.
That's what I was
Yeah,
thinking.
that's true
And
too.
you're
How
not
many bus
parking
drivers
there.
are there? Three of
We
them.
can barely get them through care to pick the kids up, let
I
alone park them on the
understand.
street.
Right.
We've
Gosh.
complained about that at several meetings on your
Yeah.
guys' behalf, but
Yeah.
they don't listen.
It's tight.
I forgot who first came and said that. And so for the next few meetings, I kept saying, and what about
I know, cause they, I mean,
Sideswipe on them.
park on both
you
sides?
can't
Yeah.
even just hit the corner. Coming on the main roads, hit the corners.
Take a few years.
A couple
So,
others that
wait.
go ahead.
What was your
Yeah,
question?
your question.
Oh, so
So we don't forget.
it might lead into yours or what
Uh-huh.
you were going to tell us, but now you guys can all correct me, and Andy, especially maybe you might. We had asked, I think OFCC for a list of things that are considered LFIs. Do you know
I
if
was
we've
gonna
got
mention
that?
I thought at the community meeting that they were talking about having it next week.
Oh, this,
For the work session.
I think
at
so,
the
yeah.
workshop meeting? Okay, because
What
I,
constitutes LFI versus what
Yes,
constitutes?
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
because
Not
there's,
only that, but a
Because
list
there's
that we
quite a
can be
few
like,
things.
oh, I didn't think of that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Kind of
Things
get
to
the,
consider.
Yeah, because as we're talking, I was thinking, when you said bleachers, I was like, oh yeah, we need more parking lot. But where does that fall?
Yeah, cause
know.
they'll provide so much parking and additional parking.
Yeah.
Is that like additional, like enlarging a gym, they only go so large,
Mm.
like,
Auxiliary gym.
Right.
yeah, auxiliary gyms, enlarging your space.
Auditoriums.
Auditorium.
Yeah.
Auditorium,
They
they
give
do
you-
so much and.
Based
got-
on your gym size, they only give you X number of bleacher seats. If you
Mhm.
want to get additional bleacher seats,
Yep.
it's an
Then that's
LFI.
LFI
I
money.
mean, there's co-funded space and it's co-funded for a reason. You
Yeah,
get
that's-
what we give you, and if you
yeah.
want anything more, then you.
Then you got
Right,
to pitch
yeah,
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So,
Yeah, it would be good to have that though, because it's definitely
Yes.
changed since even 4 years ago or
Uh-huh.
5 years ago.
yeah,
I was trying to look some of that up before the meeting and going through their site, they've got a nice site, but it's, when it comes to LFIs and that, it's just really vague. So, I'm like, okay, well, I know that part, I know that and that, but it's not like, give you some of the nice specifics.
yeah,
Cause some things you would think would be standard, you're like, oh,
Yeah.
no, that's an LFI.
Yeah.
Huh. Who would have thought? So,
that's good. Well, thank you for that. And
Yeah.
thank you.
Mhm.
And thanks, Andy, because I wasn't sure that I had ever seen that. And I was
I
like,
might be
"Oh, it's
wrong, but I
still
thought I
like
heard
that."
that they were gonna give us a list.
Yeah,
but
Thanks.
it's supposed to.
just that would help us
Yeah,
too, but
for sure.
other than, yeah. other than that, we can still brainstorm and see where those
absolutely.
fall on the list once we do have it in hand.
Yeah, and I know just kind of going back to different idea, I've got a few written down here. Obviously the field house, we talked about field house, talked about baseball, the larger athletic complex, bringing varsity baseball over. A lot of these are athletic, rec baseball fields. I know that that's been a big ask for several years from our youth baseball and softball association is trying to work with us to get them some diamonds somewhere.
Speaking of somewhere, so I got a question for you.
I
You know
figured-
what
I
I
was
was gonna
gonna
ask,
say,
you
yeah, I
know what I'm
am.
gonna ask you.
Yep.
So whatever happened to all that? So back in the day, somebody volunteered, I'm assuming, and went over and did a bunch of dirt work at Friendship Park. Fields were put in, like.
Yeah,
groundwork was
the
done.
township paid for a lot of that. So we have 2 fields there that haven't been used in years. And in fact, Chris Mills came to us this year and asked about going out there and cleaning them up because he's got the access to the equipment that would do that. And we told him, go ahead. What never got finished was any kind of fencing. So there's no backstops. I mean, they're side by side or back to back,
Yeah.
if you will. There's no backstops and there's no outfield fence. So
Or
we
if they
told him we might, the township may be able to pay for some of that. So, you know, he was gonna come back with some numbers and stuff to see. And then they, like I said, they were gonna do a lot of the work. The, originally they got asked to be put there because somebody wanted to do tournaments and they did them. And then when they stopped doing them, then nobody really used the fields. But there are still 2 fields there that
Yeah.
that we could clean
They
up.
don't
and
have-
then-
Because
So
we
Dug
used
out
to-
I have
that
a
actually
kid
play
on
game.
Christmas
Cause,
Eve.
Okay,
our softball diamonds were at our elementary and they used to use the, type of, for the outfield fence, they would roll it up.
The snow fencing.
Yeah,
Right.
they would roll it up and bring, you know, for the winter time, but it was like the wood roll up. Of course, back then
We
you
had
could.
that.
Oh, those
cheaper,
wood
yeah.
slat ones.
But now you
Yeah.
could use just the snow fencing for the
We
outfield.
did temporary
maybe
fencing.
cheaper, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we
Yeah.
did that at Graham.
And then you
Our
bring it
softball
down.
field didn't have an outfield fence because in the fall it was the football practice
Mhm,
field.
yeah,
Title IX did away with that. So we put up a fence, temporary fence, and you know, but then the Title IX did away with the temporary fence, but it
Right.
worked. I mean, you just stake out your
yeah.
measurements and everything, and then roll your.
That'd be
It
a
wasn't
cheaper
exactly.
way
It was a
maybe
little
to
bit
put a
nicer than
fence
just
out
snow
there.
fencing.
Yeah.
But
Of
Well,
course,
we-
the back
you'd also
drop,
need
you'd have to use
backdrop
that, so-
the
fences.
backstop is
Yes.
what.
Yeah,
But
that-
the
that'll be more
township, I
that would
mean,
be- have to
definitely
be
bring it to the township because
more
we
fencing.
might be able to help out. You know, we told him if he goes over there and levels them and, you know, reworks
Yeah.
them and everything, that to come back to us with some pricing and we'd see what we could do.
You know, I've never said this out loud before. It's just thoughts in my head, but you know, we talk a lot about Bethel, the township, not having, like, there aren't amenities, there aren't places for our community members to go. That's a central, and we've always kind of talked about this being that central location. What kind, I'm just asking, and you know, I don't know what the legalities of it all or whatnot. Is there a possibility of the township and the district when it comes to creating our community centers, whether it's a shelter house, walking paths around the district, you know, pay like just gravel walking paths for people to come up and walk, youth diamonds, like, is there a possibility for partnership there on any of that kind of stuff? Does that open us up to being able to go for like parks and recreational grants, things of that, and that you guys have access to that we don't because we're a district, but you
Right.
can put them on our property?
I don't know the answer to that. If we could, I mean,
Great
if
questions.
we can,
that's a good
yeah,
question.
we'd probably do
Oh
it.
my
Because
gosh.
I mean, this entire campus could just turn it, and that's, I
It
mean, I
could be
think
a
that was
really great
ultimately the
walking
vision.
area
Oh,
for
there's
older
tons.
people, especially if you get
Yeah.
paths.
Well, that's, I mean, you go through some communities, they got walking paths, they got playgrounds, they've
Yeah.
got, you know, they may not be on their school campus, but.
Yeah, we
an
have- so we
opportunity to
have a
do that. I
playground.
don't know if
Because we
that's
have a pretty good
possible. I don't even
size-
know if that's.
Yeah, we have a
Yeah.
playground down at the park. And then this year, we're gonna try to build a shelter with a pickleball court,
Yeah.
maybe 1 or 2. We said 2, but it might only be 1. And then that court would also have a basketball hoop, just like you said, to get more things out there. So
Yeah.
We invested our money finally,
That's good.
which wasn't
Yeah.
done until recently. So
Gotcha.
we're making some money on interest and it's like, well, we should give this back to the community,
Yeah.
you know, so that was kind of the thought was maybe we put some money into the park. So that's what I'm saying. Maybe if you guys want to use those baseball fields, I mean, it'd be great if somebody used them. There's not a ton of parking there. So that was one of the concerns was,
Yeah.
but we
Yeah, and
have,
it's quote unquote residential. I mean, there are some homes back there, right?
yeah, there's like right across from it, but that's pretty normal for a park.
Right.
Usually there's houses around it.
Is that where, you know, the church?
The church sits right
Did
there.
somebody buy the church?
Yes, they did.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Like
is that
they're
where we
cleaning it
had
up?
our meals? We used to
Yes.
have our-
Yeah.
And
yeah,
then that area behind
Yes.
it?
The
Yes,
whole
that's
open grass
Friendship
area.
Park.
That's Friendship
Oh,
Park.
okay, because we used to park along that, didn't we? when
Yes.
We all,
Yeah.
so, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there is some parking there, but
Yeah,
if
I'm-
you've got
I was
two
trying to
baseball fields
visualize.
going and the
Yeah.
parents are all coming.
Yeah,
and-
I was trying to visualize
So,
the
yeah.
parking we were talking about. That's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So one thing is we have that, I mean, you can always come park at the township and we have that lot out in front, but the thing is that's across 40.
Oh,
So you don't want
yeah.
kids walking across there,
Right.
but you know, maybe, I don't know. maybe you bring
Yeah,
a
I
golf
just, I've
cart or
never, I
something.
mean, I've thought of that for the last several years. and
Shuttle
I've never
service.
really said it or asked the question. And
Yeah.
I don't know what that would look like. We'd have to sit down and look at the legalities of that. And
Yeah, we
'cause I know
always
that
talk
there
about
are-
having some kind of community center, like just maybe where some of the older people can
Mhm.
come and play cards, like have
Yeah.
some card
Bingo night.
tournaments or dinner,
Love
bingo
bingo.
night,
I
yeah,
love bingo.
something.
Yeah.
Something, but,
40 plus, I can go to this one.
And that was on our list.
Can I go to that
Yeah.
one? Uh,
That's a good.
but yeah,
that's a
if,
good-
I mean, if you get to that point, come
Yeah.
and talk to us and we
Yeah,
can
I just,
figure out.
I know that from a township, city, town standpoint, I know that there are grants that are available
Yep.
to you guys that are
Well,
not available. to
I
local
did get a
schools.
grant for those, for
Yeah,
the shelter and the pickleball court.
yeah.
Not a
so-
big one, but
Right.
it was through ODNR,
Yes. yep.
which is one thing that.
Well, the reason I asked was when I was in Fort Laramie, they built Redskin Park right across the street from the high school. And I know that the football team their practice field is there and there's a cross-country course that kind of goes through there. But then they also built,
Yep.
it was the town that did it, but there was a little bit of crossover with the district being able to use their property. And I didn't know if that could be reversed, like the township and us with the acreage that we have. Obviously, we don't want to do too much because we don't know what our growth is going to look like in any future buildings.
Right.
But I didn't know with that, if we are going to put youth baseball fields on site, because it's not technically a school activity, it's more of a community thing, is there any sort of funding available, not directly from the township, but through grants and
There could be.
things of that nature that could help with that?
ODNR
I'll reach out to
Did you
Go ahead.
say tennis/temporary tennis/pickleball?
pickleball, she has pickleball only,
Oh, okay.
pickleball only.
No, I was.
Judy, I know. Well, that was another one that I had on my list. That's going into the CBC
CBC.
tennis courts.
Oh, tennis is big.
It's, and from the day I stepped foot in here, it was bowling, wrestling, and tennis. And the
Yes.
only reason we haven't started tennis is because of some of the logistics around.
We had
facilities.
tennis courts out there
Yeah,
by
we-
the
We used to
woods
be, but now there's
Yeah.
a.
But you see it
propane
now.
sitting
Yeah.
out there, right?
It's basically a trash bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
There's a
So-
concession stand.
And you guys,
and
Bethel has a bunch of
baseball
pickleball
tees.
kids too,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
because they're out at the other venues playing.
I could see that starting to be
Yeah.
And that, so that's another, LFI future thinking about. I mean, there are ways around, we would have to share facilities. We'd have to reach out to a Tecumseh or a Tip City to see if we could share. From a practice standpoint, it would be like golf. They're constantly on the road, never home games and stuff like that. So a future LFI wants proof of concept of we can start and sustain a tennis program. Do we think about building tennis courts that serve two purposes? Number one, it's our varsity tennis court. Two, community can come and use it as well.
And you can overlay that with pickleball.
And you can overlay pickleball lines. There's lots of different
Yeah.
things that you can do with that. So.
Yeah.
Obviously, my mind always goes to athletics, but that's, when it comes from a community standpoint.
but that's a community.
It's,
thing.
it's
also
a
your background.
recreational, it's
Right.
recreational though
Absolutely.
too, and community, and I can just imagine walking trails and I just standing up on top of the press box and overlooking that field. seeing what it could potentially be out there it's exciting, from not just a district athletic standpoint, from a community standpoint, what could we put out there that's gonna serve
Yeah,
everybody here?
well, the auditorium would serve the community, but we're gonna, we already know we're gonna get that. And and then we've got the gyms here that does like round ball and, other things, but then we build that gym and you get to tournaments and things coming in, that helps.
Did you call it round ball,
Yeah.
as in basketball?
Basketball.
Yeah, because when I was Trotwood.
I wanted to
it
make
was-
sure that
it
that's
was
really
called
what you were
round
referring
ball.
to.
It was called round ball, the basketball programs.
What did you
That's
call
what I
football?
Call it round ball.
No, it was
Yeah,
the
like-
K-5,
Yeah,
the
the
like
little kid.
the little kid
Like
basketball
round
program was
ball.
called round ball. That's what it was
cute.
called. It was called Trotwood Round Ball, and
That's
that's,
cute.
and I'm coaching the fifth graders,
Toddlers.
so.
You
it just
remember
transferred
these
over.
old things?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
I have a little collection of them.
That's old.
I hoard them from like 1970.
Oh, wow.
Is there anything we're not thinking of LFI wise
That's
outside?
That
I mean,
helps
we're
with
talking about
grounds
actual
planning.
facilities, but
Yeah.
we're talking
Hotel.
about increased number of bleachers. We're talking about additional classroom space that doesn't come with.
Right.
I don't know if I don't know if that's something we want to bring back, ag classes or anything. like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
I don't
Yeah, and
think all of that would be LFI.
was that already in part of their potential planning or
Sure.
not really? It was on that other side, right? Maybe.
I'm not sure. I can't.
We have that on our, well, we have FFA and our OTC on our list.
Yeah, yes.
But
So
what about like shop and home ec
Yeah,
and those
those-
things that,
Those life skills.
those ought to, yeah.
Home
life
ec.
skills.
I'm sure that if that's something that we wanted to do, I would assume that
We need that list.
is
We'll have to see
yeah,
if it's on the
yeah,
LFI
yeah,
list.
That'll help out a lot. And that's, like I said, these are more major facility needs, I
Right.
think, but.
Yeah.
Well, one thing was having a place for the marching band to practice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
practice
And,
fields.
Yeah, I mean, I think last time you said, well, they could just practice on the soccer fields, but they need football field
Oh,
markings.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'd either have to have that and,
The year of the cicadas.
I don't know, they always wanted it to be a hard service. I don't know why.
Yeah, and we used to do that first period.
Out in the parking lot.
But that was kind of, the buses, the elementary buses started coming in, but they
Yeah.
practiced in the morning during first period. If you're in the marching band, that's when you practiced.
But I mean, if you're planning, like you said, I'm not talking about tomorrow,
Yeah,
but
future.
you
yeah,
know,
practice
down the
fields.
road, maybe that would be
Yeah.
And
nice.
I've brought it up.
Yeah.
We've talked
Yeah.
about it several times. I think it would be great to go down and tour
He was
Fairborn.
the year below.
It's
Oh,
just, it
Fairborn
is
is
such a
beautiful.
phenomenal, so
Yeah.
their band practice field is right off of their band room. It's turf.
That would be nice,
It's
yeah.
like they literally
behind
walk
the
out,
school.
it's got a tower. I mean, that's, you wanna talk about like
And that's
Oh,
dream
yeah.
facility and what we could do here, that would be, you guys, maybe we can try and, I know their athletic director pretty well, I could probably get us
Yeah.
if
Then
on
we
an
can look
off
at their
day, or maybe
auditorium
one of our
and stuff
meetings,
too.
we go down and just check it out, because it's, I'm not saying we build a replica, but some of their features and how they draw some things out are just, it's phenomenal.
Auditorium.
Yeah, their auditorium.
So the other list that we had was ultimate frisbee, swimming pool and walking track.
I don't think we'll get the pool because there's a lot of regulations and guidelines on that.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I'm just saying that was
Yeah.
on our list of
Auditorium.
other.
Yeah, that really, yeah.
You got more employment there too, because then you gotta,
Yeah.
either it's a community
Lifeguard.
pool, so then you got, if it's a community pool, it's not gonna be co-funded, but then who manages the pool? Is it the responsibility?
Yeah, I
of
didn't want it on
township,
the
or is
list.
it-
I'm just
Yeah.
reading you the
I'm
list.
just
I was
thinking
just-
through
I think it would be
that.
insane to have a pool.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got one so close too.
Yeah.
that, you know.
I Hearing what New Carlisle
I'm
is
just
going through
reading
about their
the
pool right
Yeah.
now, I would not
No.
recommend putting a pool in, but it'd be great. But we have a good
Oh, it
relationship with
would
the
be.
YMCA, so
Mhm.
we're okay. I don't wanna go through what New Carlisle's going through right
That's everything on the.
Yeah.
What are they going through? I don't know.
No, I've mentioned that Trotwood had one.
Damon,
Oh,
what
And
are they
that we
going
had
through?
swim meet,
They
Their
have
community
that
pool
they're
or
the
like for
only
their
ones
swim
that
team?
had it.
Yeah.
the one
And
over by the
then,
library.
you
They're-
know,
it's
and then
been
we'd
on
open
top
up
of
to the
conversation. I
community.
think it's kind of died down because they're gonna reopen it again, but they were talking about closing it down for a year or two to do major, like
Someone.
lots,
That's
like
where I
hundreds
lived
of
when I was a
thousands of
teenager.
dollars to
Me
fix.
too. Well, I was.
Dip and dive back in
Yeah,
the
dip
day.
and dive. So that pool opened in like 68.
And it's got the original concrete.
It's the original everything,
And
yeah.
that's why they're having so many problems. They
Yeah.
were gonna close it down for a year. They brought in a bunch of
Yeah, 'cause
people
like that's a big part of it.
to analyze and what's it gonna cost and.
Yeah, I'm sure it's not gonna, that won't be cheap.
No, it's foundational problems.
Well, that makes sense. They're gonna
Leaking.
shift.
I mean, it's,
Yeah, it's over 50 years old.
it's.
Yeah.
It was a big topic at township meeting, or not township.
City council.
meeting.
Yeah.
City council meetings, big topic for a couple weeks or a couple of months
Yeah.
there.
I lived there when I was a kid too. And they play WING. I don't know if you guys remember
Oh,
that
yeah.
station.
Oh, yeah.
Around the clock. So if you ask me about a song, who sang it, the lyrics from like 68, 69 and 70, because they played the same songs like every hour on the hour. It's just like, oh my God, I can't remember what I ate yesterday, but my God, if you want me to sing Mr. Big Stuff to you.
There you go.
Because you heard it a lot.
Those are all the ones that I had. I mean,
Yeah.
baseball, softball fields, both high school, middle school,
Yeah.
and youth, practice soccer fields, youth soccer fields, tennis courts.
I have a question for you about that. Is there a distance that they have to be from a road,
What?
like the youth soccer or anything?
Mhm.
No? Okay.
I mean, I'm sure there's easement stuff.
Mhm.
and
Right,
common
that, but
sense,
I meant like,
Yeah, no, I don't know, not that I'm aware of. I mean, there's some baseball fields I've gone to at other schools that it's like 30 feet in the fence. I mean, that kids hitting home runs and putting them off of the roofs of houses across the street. I mean, it's.
I've seen some fields like
Oh,
that,
For
yeah.
sure.
Mhm.
No, I'm sure there's some sort of distance rule, but nothing that's like. I mean, you look at the soccer fields at Palmer, they're 50 feet off the road, off of 40, they're right there. So, baseball field too. Somebody comes off that road, I mean.
A foul ball is
thankfully
definitely gonna
nothing
hit
has
that.
ever, yeah,
Oh,
some-
yeah. Hit a
thankfully-
car that's sitting at the stop sign.
Or a
so,
car,
yeah.
a car wrecking and coming through that fence and into, you hope nothing like that ever happens, but.
But yeah, the semi went through a house on 40.
Somebody
So
went through our
Yeah.
house,
Yeah.
You never know,
you never
could have been
know.
our baseball press box. And it was no farther off the road than that house was,
True.
and that
Oh, it's
Palmer and
closer
40
to
is
the
a
road.
bad intersection, there's been quite a few accidents
there
there.
is.
That's the
Just
number one accident spot in the
Yeah.
township.
Oh,
We
really?
send our
Mhm.
high school baseball kids there every day.
Used to be 571 Dayton Grant
Yeah.
back in the day.
Dayton Brant gets the most traffic, but it's not according to the fire department, because when they were looking at maybe
Mhm.
building a new one, they're like, that's where all the wrecks are. We should be close to that.
Mhm.
So interesting.
All right.
Figured to be down
Um,
here, 201 and,
Yeah, you guys have
Roundabout.
heard they're gonna do a
Roundabout.
Yeah,
roundabout.
roundabout's
Yeah.
coming.
oh, down here at
Mhm.
yeah.
201 and 571.
You still have until the end of the month to go into
End
their
of May, yeah.
website and
I posted it on the
Write a,
township
uh,
website.
Mhm.
commentary
You
if
can
you'd
get,
like.
there's a link,
Right
and
on.
you can give your comments to them. There's
Yeah.
drawings and there's a little
I'm sure
package you
there's
can
other-
download.
Yeah.
Drawings of
Taking
how
a
they're gonna
lot of
do it.
land.
It's gonna
Yeah,
take a
it'll
lot
take
of
some land.
land.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I've seen the schematics. It's not as much as I had pictured
Yeah,
it to be.
They should do the big swoop before,
yeah.
like they put in 235.
Yeah, that one's
41 and
big.
235, yeah.
Why do you do this before you get to just to
Right.
slow them down? I'm
Slow
sure.
it down,
But-
yeah.
Same thing up on 235 and 47 up in Logan County. It's the same way.
Mhm.
Well, the drawing of that one's the same way. It's
It has the big
swoop in.
swoop.
maybe not as big, but it has
I didn't
Just
notice
enough
it,
to-
but
it has like
I
a
checked it.
little,
It's been a while since.
Enough
I
to
saw
get you to
Yeah.
slow,
I think it did, yeah.
huh?
Because somebody, one of the questions people always ask is, well, how do semis and school buses make those curves?
Slowly.
And well, actually they
slow.
don't. They make the curb so those guys can run up over
Yeah,
it.
that's why
Yeah.
that curve goes in the
Yeah.
center.
Okay.
So it's
Huh.
designed, so if they can't handle the curve, they just drive over it.
Oh, then that place when the kids go,
That
"Hey, man, my
explains-
driver."
That explains the tracks through the middle of 235 and 41.
Oh, yeah.
There's a
I've
couple
seen-
that are right.
Seen
on
those
the-
tracks.
All right, LFIs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it-
those,
So if,
that's really it.
if Andy and I take the list of LFIs that we can say the facilities committee would like for consideration, although I believe we're probably already being considered, but for a recommendation, there's a whole bunch, but do you want me to list 3 or 4
I
top
think it's the
priorities?
Same ones you listed before, isn't it?
I'm sorry.
It's the same ones you listed before.
I'd say field house,
Yeah.
number one. Are we talking short term or long term?
Period.
Just
Um,
generally?
Sure, it would
I-
be the field house and
Yeah, I would,
bleachers.
yeah.
And then if. we
Well,
look
now
at
I
one
guess it would be
baseball
our
field.
temporary, or what are you calling that?
I
Temporary field
mean, it's
house,
just a field
short-term
house.
field house.
Short-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be our, because here's the other thing.
Get
Todd
us
and I
through
had this
field
It's
house.
our
conversation.
visitor thing,
Yeah.
yeah. so
What
short but
if
long.
the new one with the high school doesn't end up happening because of funding or foundation, and we gotta take out too much limestone or whatever it is, and the one at the north doesn't ever end up happening, we have to have something fully functional. So we have to, now it doesn't have to have an indoor running track and turf field, and it doesn't need to be that down there, it just needs to be locker rooms, concession stand, restrooms, that's it. In some storage, right?
But
So,
it could be added onto in the future, right? I mean, the land is there.
To the west, yes, potentially. You can't really go much further back into the woods there because you've got the waterway.
Yeah.
South, you mean?
Yes, I'm
Yes.
sorry, south.
Yeah, gotcha.
Going to the south, there's not much, I mean, we're pretty close to, I mean, even those original drawings, they were like, you can only make this so big because of the grading and getting close to wetlands and the whole bat weevil or whatever the heck it was. I don't know. What is? the-
Yeah, he
the
made
brown
up,
bats?
he
I
made
don't
up
know.
an animal that doesn't
Bat
even
weevil.
exist. I don't know what he's.
We're doing that in class right now. Making up future animals.
He combined
This
two
project.
animals.
I would say that, you know, I think we need to do that one that's going to serve us now and could potentially serve us for the next 15 to 20 years. Simply, not that it has to be the Taj Mahal, but we gotta have something relatively permanent. In the
Running
event that-
water is, and
in the-
restrooms.
In the event
Key.
that the one to the north with the high school project and that whole thing, because that's gonna be a full LFI as well. There's gonna need to be some fundraising done. I mean, that's a big, those types of facilities are $5-6 million. They're not cheap. And
I thought OFCC would pay part of that if you.
co-funding some of the space if we add in.
Environmental
classrooms,
science
yes,
room,
yeah.
environmental science room out
There are
there.
some ways
the
to
land
squeeze
lab.
in some of the funding, but it's still, I mean,
Right,
no
right.
matter how you shake it and what it's co-funded, it's, I mean, we're
I would
looking at
love that.
probably
You got it.
today, $6 million. If I'm looking at the list of things that we want to put in there, it's gonna be $5 to $6 million easy. So how much of that is co-funded? If it's half, then we still have to come up with 3 million somehow. So it's a lot easier to build a $750,000 to maybe $1 million one versus, well, let's just build it, you know, throw some porta johns out there and wait until this other one gets built that never ends up getting built. So that's my biggest concern with that is field house is definitely number one right now. And just for safety and security and potential future transportation facility, getting baseball over here on campus somehow. So that it doesn't get in the way, because what we don't want to do is just throw it out where it's gonna be in 10 years. Because you're gonna be moving dirt and there's gonna be construction, and how do you get people even back there for a baseball game while we're trying to build a high school? There's not temporary, I mean, in my mind, right out here, right behind the school where the practice field is now, you put a baseball field out there. One will fit. You got your varsity baseball and softball back there. And then in the future, we build youth fields and another varsity baseball field. That becomes your middle school baseball fields or additional youth fields. And we end up with, 6 baseball and softball fields as opposed to just 2.
So you're saying your second highest priority is to move the baseball fields over here?
If you're asking Damon Smith, yes.
So we can make that transportation
Yeah,
over
very-
there.
What's that?
I thought you said bleachers.
Yeah,
Well,
we
I
got
saw,
bleachers in there
yeah,
too.
I guess. I would say field house and bleachers are 1A and 1B.
Gotcha.
And then 2
gotta go
would be
together.
baseball over.
in transportation over there.
That would be, yes. We're just,
It's a discussion.
Unless everybody just takes the buses home, like Julie said. We don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it.
ride their horse and buggies to school. Don't think she would.
I don't think she did either. She did it right.
That is strictly my opinion. That's not Bethel administration. That's not, I just looking at our needs. That's,
Well, I think you were asking, what do you want to take to the board? So,
but the transportation facility is entirely LFI as well, though. That's the other thing we gotta think about. And then that's why it's on the LFI list, right? Like,
Mhm.
can we even do it right now? It might be 10, 5-10 years from now. So maybe it's not that high up on the list. I don't know.
we should
It
probably
seems
put
like
that
it-
on.
I'm
the
talking
list.
a lot. Somebody else talk.
No, it seems like, well, I mean, the traffic, I mean, I don't know. We talked about.
It'll get better. Once we get the high school built,
Yeah.
it'll get better because, I
will.
mean, you're still gonna have parents dropping kids off, but you're not gonna have high school kids driving around and stuff. They're gonna be over there.
Mhm.
I mean, just for example, when softball's been going on a lot lately, and they had tournament game out there the other night. The bus drivers trying to get back, returning players are trying to get, I don't know, it's just it's a mess. It's a mess. I don't know. It's not,
Especially with all the buses back there,
yeah,
when the people are trying to get back there to a game.
Right, and I can't tell you how many times a driver's gotten off their bus and gone to get in their car to go home, and they're blocked in by softball games going on, and they gotta go over and find at the softball game who's blocking them in so that they can move, so that they can go home.
and start the weight room with the same thing, people trying to access the weight room, get in there, teams get in left, do stuff in the weight room, and you're, after school and you're dealing with, I don't know, just everybody in one spot, transportation, and the kids trying to get out there to the weight room too, and same things happen there. I think you guys had to send out several times.
For several years.
I don't know, it's just,
Stop parking in the gravel lot. You're 16, walk.
Yeah, your parking,
Don't care if it's
your
10
parking
degrees.
lot's here.
Yeah.
This is your parking lot.
yeah. But, yeah, it's just,
Just curious, do we know yet the scope of like what'll have to be done to Ag and Broad? If anything, or like what that
Scope wise, no, something will likely
process
have
is?
to be.
Does
for
ODOT
sure,
have to
yeah.
do like a,
That's
I
not
know.
It's
ODOT,
not
that's
ODOT,
the
it's a
township.
Oh, that's right,
That's a
that's right.
township road.
You're
This,
right.
this was
And-
ODOT, but
yeah.
that is township.
Yeah.
But OFCC will fund some of it, right?
Yeah, there is money set aside for
But it's not very much.
300,000 is sticking out in my mind. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that's nothing for,
Yeah,
I mean, there's no way the township's gonna widen that whole road, though.
yeah.
There's just no way. It's too much money just to repave it is, it's a hefty amount.
Mhm.
And the reason we haven't repaved it and it's getting
you
in
know-
bad shape,
It could-
we've repaved that direction, but not this one, was because we
You
thought it
want
was gonna be needed turn lanes or be changed for, even the K-5 when we originally talked about it. So, I mean, at least you're gonna need turn lanes,
Yeah.
right? But there's not gonna be buses coming down that road, right? It's gonna be cars. Is that,
Students.
Correct.
so,
And if that part hasn't been discussed, it can be discussed of, okay, we're not gonna bring buses down to drop off, we're gonna bring them in, and that's where the facility, the master planning and the architect and all that kind
Right.
of stuff come in on, okay, our goal is to not bring a bus down Ag and Broad to drop kids off, we wanna bring them in, where do they come in at, what does that
right,
pathway look like?
yeah, I don't know, we'd have to look at how much, right away we have there too.
Yeah.
Cause I'm not sure that there would be enough to make it 4 lanes wide, which if you're gonna have turn lanes both way and then 2 driving lanes, that's,
Well, I don't think we would even need, I mean, we don't need that out here, we only have 2 with a turn lane in the middle, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Other than the
Officially.
little jog overs right before you turn in.
Mhm.
So I would assume that it would only need to go one extra, it's 2 lane now, it'd only have to go 1 extra lane and then your current lane, one of the current lanes would end up becoming the turn lane. And then what's that stretch look like versus, and where does it fall on Ag and Broad, depending on where the high school is? Do we have one entrance? Do we have two entrances? Like that all?
But out here, you have a turn lane down the middle. I mean, sorry, on the elementary, you have a turn lane down the middle, plus you have
The
a,
little jog off,
yeah, the little
Yeah.
jog off. So
Right.
it's 4
It
wide.
is in that specific area, yeah. But that
That's
jog
probably
off
not
is
more
not on the,
than
it's
50
not
feet,
on,
though.
like it, we didn't add over here. It cut in on school property, I believe,
Yeah,
right?
it's on school property.
You can
Or
tell
the
on this
school, the
picture.
it's on
easement,
school
That's what I was
easements
looking
that
at.
we have, yeah, it came in on that side as opposed to encroaching on the people that live on Ag and Broad.
Right, okay.
And the buses go in on over beside the elementary for the high school.
And then it's gonna go back to 2 lanes on Ag and Broad once
they
you
do?
get
Yeah,
How
past
they
yeah,
pull
once
in,
you
do
get
they?
that
past-
drive,
right,
probably,
yeah,
See,
for sure.
shortly.
It would probably.
They
and
go
I'd have
right
to-
here, and this is the bus,
I'd
this
have
is
to
the
think
buses
about
right
it or
here.
even look at it.
They
as
come
a-
right
like,
here.
Okay.
Miami East.
And then
too,
this
I
is
gotcha.
staff parking
Where
here
does-
and
yeah.
because
student
it's a
parking's
2-lane
over
road.
here, and that's the
What is that?
only
What,
entrance. This entrance
road
is
is
here,
that?
but it's for like, when
It's a
you have,
number two.
like,
Yeah.
they can't, or just to get
For where?
people out.
Miami
Mhm.
East.
So
Alcoa
And teachers
Conover.
can go in.
most teachers are gonna end up coming in
Is it on
that way.
Alcoa Conover?
Is there not?
Five something, I don't know. But anyway,
Yeah.
it's 2-lane pretty much out of Conover all the way up. But when you get to the school, there's just a little bit of
I
a
like looking
spot
at-
where there's a turn and or a suicide lane, whatever you want
This
to call
would
it.
be a good spot.
And then it's right back to 2-lane the rest of the way. So I would assume we could probably do the same
That's
thing.
why I asked.
Yeah.
Mm.
503.
I don't know, that's my guess.
She's saying just the new
Check it out,
Southfield goes
see
out
if I
from
got it
the
right.
elementary.
And I think in front of Tecumseh, on 40, I think it's
Same.
just the 3 lanes, right?
Yeah.
Because they keep going in just one giant, in the middle all the way from the middle school past the high
Kind of,
school.
I
So it's a
mean,
pretty long
You'd have to have fencing.
stretch there of that extra 3rd lane, but they're really wide lanes there.
Yeah.
589.
There's
All right.
enough- there's enough-
Railway.
Is it Alkeny Conover?
Not even.
What's that?
Is it also,
Like,
I mean,
for
is it
multiple
noticed
reasons,
Alkeny
you want
Conover?
them oriented
That doesn't
north,
sound right to
south.
me, but it could be.
And
I think it's
I mean,
Alkeny
There's
Conover.
enough behind the school too to put one or two.
State Route 589.
Behind the elementary,
Uh-huh.
right you're at.
Because there's enough for at least one.
Where the playground is.
behind.
What
Runs
playground?
from Fletcher
That's
to Conover.
That's a joke of a playground. I know. Like,
Uh,
it's
Yeah, well,
crazy.
Right
Better
here.
than we thought it would be. when
Look.
we were moving over there.
Right here.
I'll find out what the, per mile cost to
You'd have
pave
to have
was this year.
some work to that actual ground.
That doesn't tell us too much because this is all new, but, I mean, plus we probably have the
And-
cost of putting
Yeah,
in
I
a
was
turn
gonna say,
lane.
Right now,
Whatever
you can't
this
even use
was,
it
yeah,
recently.
That was a
It's
lot.
either
It
flooded,
was.
Muddy,
Oh,
no, I
yeah.
shouldn't say flooded, but.
I mean,
But
I,
no, that's-
and
that's
again,
important to know.
this number's
Yeah,
jumping,
this
but
right
it's
here is
close to
this
500.
area?
It's like
Yeah.
560. Does that sound about right?
I was thinking it was even more than that, but I can't remember.
Yeah.
I might be confusing it with what they did
Yeah,
out
and I
here
mean, like, we
because
use
that
this
also the
whole
school paid
part
for.
of
That was
the
over $1
top.
million.
Yeah. When this
This
was,
look at
when
that,
they
Yes.
the two
first did it.
basketball
Yes.
hoops that are
I
right
think
there,
this down
they're not
here,
adjustable,
560
and
is
they're
jumping
10
out.
foot.
I know
Yeah, that could
300
be.
is what they've allocated. I'm
So
pretty
they're
sure
not
that that's what
using
that is. And I think this was like 560,
Yeah.
580, something like that.
And then moving any power poles.
Yeah, that was a whole.
Yeah, I mean. because
Trying to
then-
get
I don't know,
AES
maybe
out
they'll
there.
be in
I
a
think
good
the
place.
cost of also,
Before
so
they
like
could do
even
the
to
road
get
widening and
one
being on a
small
deadline,
something.
and AES
Yeah.
waited until the absolute last second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which Pioneers already contacted me. You're building a new school. Yeah.
Well, they already ran everything out to the end, right? So we already paid for that.
Yeah.
And that was a windfall for them.
Yeah.
It's true.
Got an athletic center, it's Pioneer Athletic Center.
We did plant
My
some trees
brother-in-law's a
for us at the
39.
elementary.
What's that? Yeah.
Two,
They did-
right?
They did come out and plant some trees.
Come on, Todd, give me some more trees and some shrubs and some flowers. Hey,
Yeah.
for real, can we get some flowers in the planter out front?
Yes, that's a
planter.
summer project.
The planter,
Yeah.
not till summer. Hold on,
So
hold
do
on.
you guys look at the drainage before you plant trees? Because you know, this is a huge problem in the township. When you take farmland that has tiling under it and just willy-nilly start doing stuff, you're gonna get flooded.
Yeah, no, this is around the school, so this isn't like, there's literally, there's, what, a little bit of green space right there in between the playground and the.
We could be a lot more visually appealing, and I know this doesn't matter and it costs money in the
Although
grand scheme of
the
things.
tree
will
And
some of the water too,
and
eventually once it
upkeep,
gets big enough.
maintenance,
Yeah, but
whatever
the
you wanna
roots
call
go
it.
into the tile.
We have
and
a campus.
Usually there's tile
beautification
under a
summer
field, right,
project
that
that's
drains the
going to
water
happen.
away.
Right, yeah.
So when you, like, when the
Okay,
developers come
I'll-
in, they dig that up, they don't.
We're
We'll
gonna-
see how
we're
much
gonna tag it.
beautification
It's
it
called
takes.
bird
And then you don't get the drainage, and then.
Oh, yeah, if it's
when
the
new
bird
resident
beautification
moves
project,
in,
then I'll
moves
tell
in,
you
they start
exactly what's
planting trees all
happening.
over. And then,
Grass.
you know, not right away,
Grass.
but 20 years
Nope.
from now.
No, that's
those
just where you have
roots
to
are
mow.
gonna go into
Yeah,
those
it's easier to mow. than
drain
try to keep
pipes and-
weeds out.
I know.
Okay.
It's gonna stop that
Yeah,
flow
we-
from
we're
moving the
talking
water
about
away from the house. and
Even just
places
some
are
more
flooded.
things to block the wind, because I don't know,
Oh.
actually, Mindy, it
We
would be
said that
interesting to hear
today
your
while
take.
we were
Like,
out
why
there
is it
trying to set
windy
up
all
for-
the
Yeah.
time anymore?
Build a
no,
big
From a
dirt wall
climatologist
back there.
standpoint.
Just
Right.
plant a
We
bunch
need
of
to
arbor
like-
vitaes all
It's
along. the
crazy
fence
over
and
there,
everything.
because we got nothing.
No,
blocking
when,
us.
And then
when I
behind the
park
stadium.
and then I
Yes.
walk around the
The ones that
edge
get you like.
Well, yes.
of the
20 foot
building, it's like your hair's like,
Yes.
it's very,
Yeah.
very windy. It always looks
Yeah,
good.
they need to
Right
be
from here.
tall already, right?
tall.
Yeah.
We could do some,
Okay, so
All right,
two
let's
items
move
on the
on.
recommendation list, is that,
So are we good
That's
on our
enough, right?
LFI list?
Well, I only have the two, like you said, yeah. Is that,
As immediate needs.
as
That-
immediate, yeah.
yeah, as a.
Like
short
if,
term.
if you're gonna, if the board's gonna spend money,
Short but
here's,
long.
Yeah. Yeah,
I would recommend saving some for
Yeah.
contingency beyond what their contingency is. Because we ran into that building K through 5 many times.
yeah.
Like you were talking about, I think we had
Yes,
talked
there
about having
is.
extra bleachers in the elementary, and then I think we didn't put those in.
Yeah,
I don't know, there were so
I-
many things that we had to
Yeah,
make
no, I
cuts a
think we
bunch
had
of
to.
times.
Invest
So,
in some tannery. Blow some rock
so
up.
I had just bleachers and short term, I don't know what you really officially
Field
want to
house.
call it,
the
the
visitor field house.
thing. That's probably a
Just
good way
call
to
it
put
We
it.
said the field house and then the Bethel B Athletic Center was the other one, remember?
Yeah, well, I didn't know if you wanted to call it field house, is like short term field house, if you wanted to give it a different name.
Just call it field house. Because it may not be the short term one, it may end up being a long.
That's
term one.
true.
We'll see.
Won't know till we get there.
Yes, we won't know until we get there.
And then yeah. What was,
Baseball
what was the
slash-
last thing you said? I didn't have that on my list, I don't think.
Oh, I was talking about the future. The Bethel B Athletic Center.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, yeah,
The bigger one with the
the
indoor
big- yeah.
fields and the big.
the
ones.
exclamation point.
Yes.
There you go. That's a good way to
Yeah.
put it.
That's right.
So
Okay, that's
that,
good
and
then.
The second
Thanks.
one was baseball slash transportation.
About that. Did you get that one, Julie?
I did, I'm not in agreement. He said that's his personal
Oh,
number 2.
oh, okay.
Does anybody
I
else
would
have
agree
a-
with that personally.
You would agree with that being next?
Yeah.
I like the kids going over there. Makes it more exciting. It's like,
I just think it might be a little early to, I'm in agreement future, but I think it's early to decide because you don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, get the other 2 things first, right? And then figure out, because when we start building the school, you don't know what's gonna happen. I just don't
true.
know.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, just like we intended to build a field
Of
house.
other LFIs, what would take priority over that? We're just
Well,
talking about priority.
It could be more classroom space. We don't know in 2 or 3 years, right? We don't know. I don't know.
Right.
And
I
it
mean,
could be that,
It's all unknown.
yeah,
It's like-
that's what I'm
it's like you're
saying. I'm
it's
okay with,
unknown Whether, how the baseball diamond would fall, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're just talking about prioritizing and just trying to think, okay, you got all these other types of LFIs we can have. If that's
Yeah.
not next on the priority list, what would take its place?
And I'm gonna say from a maintenance standpoint, that baseball field has been talked about forever. And it's awful. It's
And
like,
bad.
I'm not saying,
the cost to keep it in the shape that it's in, which is not good at all.
no,
yeah.
Because it's
It's
not
bad.
properly drained. It's the worst baseball field in the state of Ohio, the worst varsity baseball field in the state of Ohio.
Bad.
And
like I
we
said,
put
I'm
30
not
to 40
saying.
No, no, I know,
It
I
shouldn't
know, I
be
know,
on the
I know.
And we're not coming
Yes.
at you. I'm just, my point is like, okay, if that's not number 2, what takes its place on the list?
I don't know.
Well,
But you're right. I mean, we've got to get the exact numbers for classrooms and I mean,
Yes.
Yeah.
when we think about the elementary and
This is all
that was an
preliminary.
LFI.
And seeing
Two
those
for
LFI
1,000.
lists that they're talking about from a classroom standpoint funded
yeah,
on
That's gonna
Tuesday is
help
going to be important.
shape, yeah. And that's why,
Transportation facility would jump baseball for me, but you have to move baseball in order to get
To
a
get that.
transportation
Mhm.
facility.
Right.
That's the only reason I put baseball at number 2. So it's really kind of 2A and 2B is the baseball field / transportation.
Because they can flip,
Yes.
like,
Well, you can't, unless somehow we can figure out, which I've asked the question and I'm gonna get some feedback on that, as what can we fit over? Here's our plot. What can fit over here? And if we can get a transportation facility over there and leave basic fields somehow, or get transportation and leave baseball, I don't know. I don't know what they can put on 22 and a half
Right,
acres,
that's like 20, but
about 20 acres.
I don't know that we're-
yeah, and you said FMD is gonna,
Yeah, they're
Give
gonna
us
look
some-
into that, yeah, just
Yeah.
some.
You ever reached
Advice.
out to like the Reds or some player and say,
Well, we haven't had anybody draft.
we
yet.
need a little field.
Yeah,
We're willing to put your
KR
name
got-
on it.
KR got some good money from a guy I played baseball with. He won a World Series not too long ago.
yeah,
But there's a lot of trees there too.
yes.
But I mean,
Yeah,
maybe
wet
if they
and bad.
saw the field, like you took them on a little
Ooh,
tour
that's
and
bad.
said, look, we just need, how much does it cost? $2 million.
For a baseball
Yeah,
field?
more than
Peanuts
that.
for you guys.
For a baseball
Drop in the
field?
bucket for that.
I would think so.
Ground up.
Because we met with Mercer out there already.
About 700.
Yeah.
For a plain baseball
Right.
field, basic dugouts like what we have, just
Yeah.
actually functional
Yeah.
and.
Write the Reds and say, we're gonna put
Yeah.
your name on this field.
Yeah.
All we need is a cool mill. You know?
Great American Ballpark Junior.
I say go for the whole ball of wax.
Yeah.
If you're gonna do that with
Yeah.
the,
Yeah, if we're
So-
contacting
to
the
be-
Reds,
to
then
say-
let's,
I'm sure there are grants out there. I know the NFL does a grassroots program where they can, and we looked into that when we were doing the stadium out here to see if there were
Yeah.
any grants available. I mean, that
Yeah.
stuff does happen.
Yeah.
And given our socioeconomic status, which has gotten us our 80/20, we could potentially qualify for stuff like that. So.
Right.
Might not
Just
be
trying
too
to think
far-fetched.
outside the box a
Yeah,
little
might
bit,
not be
you
too
know, like,
far-fetched.
we need a benefactor, right?
Yeah.
We need somebody
we
that
do.
has nice deep pockets that
we
can
need
say,
somebody
yeah,
to
go
win
ahead
the
and build
building.
it.
absolutely.
Yeah, if you're asking, my would be transportation would be number 2, but we have to get, my hunch is that baseball's gonna have to come off there in order to put transportation.
Like you feel like with baseball, it's not now, when, because we've been talking about it
Yeah.
forever. Not now, when are you gonna do it? Because it's been
And,
a sore
and
spot for a long
if
time.
I'm putting a 3 or a 2B or whatever
West
auditorium,
Townsend's Transportation, like
a
their footprint
dedicated
is really
auditorium
not that
for our
big for just that
plays and
transportation.
musicals, and I mean, it's
I'm
not
sure they're bigger
great
than us. I don't know how
the
much
way that
is.
it is now, and building another cafetorium.
Yeah.
No,
thing
let's not
is
do
just-
that.
Mm-mm.
So we need to make sure that is.
We have to have an auditorium.
Yeah.
Auditorium
of-
is very important, I think.
Well,
Because of our
because-
great, I mean,
well-
and it's thriving. Our theater.
Oh,
program
it is. And
yeah.
they're doing a
fantastic.
fall, they're gonna,
Yeah, they're
they're doing a
increasing.
summer, a fall,
Yes.
and now a spring and a
Yeah.
winter, so
So
I'm
then
just
anybody
like.
trying to use the space for something else?
Yeah.
There's another thing we need a
Because
benefactor
they've got
for.
so much
It would
going
be
on.
nice if the auditorium had an additional, like an outside entrance. You know what I mean?
Blocked off from the
Um,
normal educational space, so you can bring, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Northmont's, you can get in
Mhm.
its own entrance, which is
Yeah.
nice. I've gone over there to watch some of our kids do summer performances.
So, to Andy, I wanted to say, what I was gonna do is say, that we discussed like potential LFIs, short-term, like within the next 2 years, here's the,
Mhm.
just list those 2 things that we would like to see, because we do have a definite need for those short-term. Even if we start, and break ground shortly on a new site, which doesn't look to be till like next spring potentially, then at least that these can be in the forefront of what to things that we think are important. We know that are important.
But I think
A
when you
practice
say
gym too
needs,
for,
I think that that's very important. Like, this is not a
practice
wish
fit
list.
for,
Yes,
Like,
right.
we
Yeah.
have to have
Yeah.
additional
Some
bleachers
LFI.
sitting in a
Right.
field house.
There's definitely.
The wrestling practice area, that's an LFI.
Yeah,
I
unless,
mean-
unless it's somehow turned into physical education space as well.
Right.
Yeah.
So just looking at this list, the four things we talked about are the stadium.
Yeah.
Within the stadium is the field house and the bleachers, a transportation facility on Palmer, theoretically, a baseball field out of necessity for the transportation facility, and then an auditorium. If we're looking at super short term, the stadium and the baseball field, so that it opens up us to a long-term transportation facility. And I'd say one of the main things that we need to look at when it comes to the design of the high school is auditorium and
Yes.
making sure.
Most
So
definitely.
I would say that those four are probably the highest, but two of them have to happen quickly and two can happen in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Outside of that, the youth fields, the soccer practice fields,
Yeah.
youth baseball fields, youth soccer fields, anything else that, and I've got a whole list of them that I kind of wrote down, but I
So
think
if
those are
just-
all.
If just the baseball fields moved,
Mhm.
there would be enough room for this transportation dream that you're
Oh,
talking
yeah, for
about,
Sure.
a building and parking?
Building, parking, staff parking, multiple, yeah.
Wouldn't we keep the maintenance facility still here?
So the current transportation bus garage area would end up becoming the maintenance. So it would still get used during the day. So the maintenance
Yeah,
truck,
yeah.
the plow.
So you wouldn't have
the-
to have
No,
another.
no, yeah, it
one
would
of those. You'd still have a
specifically be
building, but
just
not
for
like-
transportation,
Right.
busing, yeah. The
But you'd have a
buses,
building over
There
there.
would be a building with
For the
bays and
mechanic,
mechanic,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, that's what I was talking about, 'cause
So-
that's what we have here.
And
I-
to that point,
didn't know
I've
we could
already,
still
I've
use this
spoken with Jacob and Kathy both and gotten there, okay, what's bare minimum? What are some things that we need to really consider about this transportation facility? And then what's your Taj Mahal? Like, what are some of the, like, we don't have to have them, but it'd be really nice. I've got that list from them. And then I've also spoken to Laura Wolford and Megan Rust about same thing, your auditorium. What's like bare minimum? What would be some like, hey, we should really consider this because it would be very nice to have. And then in a dream world, we'd have rotating stages and lights. Yeah. They both did, both groups, transportation and our performing arts, both did I've got that information from them of what their facility would look like. But both of those can't happen tomorrow. Like, they're not actionable items right now because we haven't started the design of the building yet. And we don't have a place to put transportation until the baseball field and the soccer fields are gone. So that's what I'd like, if we want to keep moving, stadium for sure, and next would be baseball field, so that transportation and auditorium is next.
What's out behind the parking lot out here? Can we not put buses out there? I
It
don't mean
doesn't solve-
permanently.
yeah, It doesn't, I mean, you could, it doesn't really solve the issue of getting people in and out and the hazards and where people park and all that kind of stuff. My opinion is that's where you put your baseball field. That way your baseball, softball field are right next to each other. You can put another facility, a small concession stand and maybe a couple of restrooms or something like that out there to get us through. And then in the future.
You need to start putting numbers next to your dreams.
Oh, yeah. Well, and that's what I think
I'm
that's-
hearing
we're-
ka-ching, ka-ching,
Oh, yeah.
ka-ching.
Everything,
why they're
hey,
elevated.
guess what?
Everything is-
Everything
I know.
is a-ching, a-ching.
I know.
Go down, fill up your gas tank,
Yeah.
everything's
Yeah,
a-ching, so, yeah, it don't matter what it is. Whether it's, stuff at Bucky's, food at Bucky's or whatever.
We
It
did
don't
have,
matter.
we had Mercer Group come out. This
We
was
met with-
last year
Yeah,
or the
we
year
met.
before even,
Just to see if it would fit.
if we could
And
even fit a baseball field out there. And they measured it out and we could get a full varsity baseball field out there. It's tight. I mean, your back outfield fence is right along that drainage ditch, but it fits. So you could put it there. Then it opens that up. If there's soccer fields out here or in the front of the elementary, I mean, that would be a little tacky looking in my opinion. I don't need soccer fields
You
out in front of.
need soccer fields out front of the elementary is what my thought was, because of the fact that, they're pretty low key.
Right.
not visually obstructive.
Well,
And that's why I
until
asked
you
about
put
the
a,
road.
until you put a concession stand and they have to have restrooms and then you've got porta johns sitting out in front of your elementary school.
That's a good point.
Let's tuck that in the back somewhere. But that's the long-term vision of how do we partner with the township to say, all right, these are our youth fields, let's build some sort of community, what did I call it? I had the word earlier, shelter house, where it's just, you know, open picnic table seating area, but then it's got a couple of restrooms and some stuff like that in it as well, to where multi-use, right?
I was just gonna ask Todd, how's the softball field out there drain? I mean, take maintenance wise.
It's, I mean,
okay.
it's okay. Yeah, it's definitely, it drains better than things do at the
Yeah.
baseball field for sure.
I think
But
if we're going to put the baseball field out there, while we're doing the baseball field, we need to do some infield work. It
Because-
doesn't need torn down.
No.
We could probably put up some dugouts,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Get a functioning sound system.
Yes.
You know, a usable press
Yeah.
box so we can actually announce our kids who's up to bat and all that. We don't have any of that right now. Haven't since I've been here. Outside of a little portable boom box that they sit in the dugout and do. Or Chase, senior night, Chase had to stand up and yell because the boom box didn't work.
nah,
So we're announcing seniors.
Oh, God.
Or maybe it wasn't senior. Was it senior?
no, it
night?
had to be
It was
senior.
senior night, so he ended up having to, he was a town crier. He
I
just
didn't
stood and
realize
yelled.
that.
My God.
He's got the voice
It's-
for it.
He does,
Thank
he
good-
does.
Thank
but
goodness
it's
there was
just-
only
He probably
three
didn't have
seniors.
to
There was
voice it all
only
next
three
day,
seniors, so it
though.
wasn't too
Yeah.
bad.
Funny.
But that's like the experience that our kids got. And that's
Yeah.
not a knock on Chet. I'm not saying that at all. But
Yeah.
the fact that we don't have the facilities to recognize our kids and then our kids go to these other schools
During their senior.
during their senior night and they got walk-up music and they've got announcers and
Yeah.
they've got, we don't have that here. Our kids
We all
are,
survived.
Yeah, I mean.
We
they-
did, but-
They have more money than us.
Things,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, things have changed a lot. They've gotten a lot more elaborate.
Expectations.
Elaborate, I guess. Is the right- That is a good word.
I guess that shows my age, I'm just old and.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but,
alright.
thanks. I think we got that captured
Yeah.
properly and, sorry, I lost track here. Which one?
Next, please.
Thank you,
I think
everybody.
we're
Is
in.
there any other last comments? We don't have any other public members here, so we don't need to have the hearing of the public. Our next meetings, June 10th at 6 PM here, and July 8th, then 6 PM here, and then August 12th will get us through the summer. And then on the next column, September 9th, will be just into the school year then. So that's what we've got listed right now. And we can leave it at that for this month, I think, just to see where we end up. And then I apologize, I started talking after I asked, is there any other additional comments anybody wanted to make?
What's for dinner?
Yes.
Sorry about that.
No, you're
Thank
right.
you. Thank you for your time, everybody, and
I'm not
thanks.
putting that in the minutes.
and
Sounds
thanks,
good. I know what I got.
What's for dinner?
Thanks for,
What's for dinner?
for everybody listening online. Thank you very much for your attention as well. So may I ask if we, if somebody can make a motion to adjourn the meeting tonight?
So moved.
Second.
And then Ms. Reese, if you would take them.
Yep. Natalie Donahue,
Yes.
Damon Smith,
Yes.
Julie Reese, yes. Todd Bird,
Yes.
Mindy Campbell.
Yes.
Amy Lolino,
Yes, ma'am.
Andy V,
Yes.
Mindy Gatron.
Yes.
Thanks,
7:38.
everybody.
I gotta remember to put which minute it is now. Okay, meeting adjourned at what time?
Oh,
11:38.
sorry.
Meeting 38 is
7:38.
7:38.